Great turnout today. Thank you all for coming. My name is Tom Caron from the New England Sports Network, and we are so excited to be here to watch what in some ways is the culmination of so many weeks and months of work to put this together, but in so many other ways is really just the starting line. This is the beginning of what we hope will be such an exciting program. The launch today officially of this special program, the New Balance UMass Boston Sports Leadership and Administration Bachelor Degree Program. How about a round of applause for that title? Because it is a dream come true for a lot of people who've spent a lot of time putting this together. It is the only bachelor in sport program in the entire city of Boston. And as you may have heard, Boston is the city of champions. We like our sports around here. We're pretty good at it, so it's a perfect place to launch a program like this. We'll be having many people speak today and tell you a little about why this is so important, why this is so special, and why this is going to be such a great success. And we begin with the Chancellor of the UMass Boston, Catherine Newman, to give you the official welcome on behalf of UMass Boston. Catherine.
You can hear that sports announcer voice. That's way better than we usually get around here. Welcome, everyone. Look at this amazing turnout. I'm so excited about this program and all of the people who are here today to help celebrate it. And of course, so many people had a hand in making it happen. I couldn't possibly get to all of them. But I do want to acknowledge a few folks today, including Trustee Mary Burns, who's joining us from our Board of Trustees. I can't help but recognize Charlie Titus. He asked me not to, and I am refusing. Charlie Titus was one of the absolute forces of nature behind this program. And if it were not for Charlie, and of course my predecessor, Chancellor Keith Motley, we wouldn't be here today. And I'm grateful to both of them for their leadership. Our partners from New Balance, our extraordinary partners from New Balance, we are so lucky to have you in the house and as part of our family. This is going to be a tremendous partnership with New Balance, and we are incredibly excited about that. And of course, along with our colleagues from New Balance comes the Sport Leadership Advisory Board. Can the members just stand briefly? I can't, please, some of extraordinary athletes, extraordinary business leaders, visionaries in this field, going to make a huge difference in helping our students find their way in the sport industry. We have many community and corporate partners here, and we will add many more as we go on. Members of the media who are interested in this program, we're grateful for your attention. And of course, and this is the most important thing, our brand new named Professor Joe Cooper and his inaugural class from the Sport Leadership and Administration program. Would the students and Professor Cooper please stand? Joe, you too. Something like 52 new students in a brand new class, barely even advertised. That tells you something about the demand for this program. So I'm going to get off the podium, but I just want to say I am thrilled to death that this is finally happening and grateful to everyone who had a hand in it, especially you, Charlie Titus.
Thank you, Chancellor Newman. Thank you so much. I want to keep this rolling fairly quickly because, again, we'll be hearing a lot of different voices today because there have been so many different people involved in bringing this together. It takes a village in so many ways to start a program like this, and the village has come together. So we want to keep it going. But first, I do want to once again congratulate the first class in being a pioneering part of this. Thank you for trusting all of us in what we're trying to put together here and for being a part of it. Great things will happen. We are convinced of that. To speak more about that, please welcome Dr. J. Keith Motley, the former Chancellor of UMass Boston, tenured faculty in the UMass Boston College of Management. This program has been his vision and dream for so long, and here he is to speak about it.
Yeah, I don't want to trip off the box and show you the athletic prowess that I've lost. Listen, good morning, everybody. Good morning. What an incredible morning to be back here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. I want to thank our Chancellor. Thank you so much for understanding how important it is to sort of build on some of the dreams. You know, you've allowed me to be able to come to this campus every day and just say, wow, because you're getting it and you got it. And so it's amazing for me. But I'm also so grateful to every single one of you that understood how important it was today to sort of trumpet our accomplishment, because it's our accomplishment. It's our accomplishment together, so I want to thank you. I also want to say to all that are on the program today, thank you for coming out and being a part of this. We're so grateful to you. What a wonderful day for our university. Personally, it's an incredible day because it allows for me today to introduce to you one of the most incredible young men that I've had an opportunity to meet, and we'll get to that. But it also allows for me to acknowledge the fact that sport was such a tremendous and remains a tremendous part of my life. And I stand here because of all those people in my life, both the scholars and the scholar athletes and those coaches. People like Bradley Pearson, who drove me around Pittsburgh when I was a youngster, and Hall of Famers Norman Fry, my high school coach, but also the great Jim Calhoun, who recruited me here to come to Boston. But I also want to thank Dr. Nelson Keong. Peter Keong is his son. Peter is one of our tremendous faculty members here, and he's like my brother. But it was Dr. Keong that said to me, why don't you ever acknowledge your studious athlete self? Why do you try to hide from that? I said, I can't hide from that. I walk in a room, and it's kind of obvious that I played hockey or something, right? Because I got that kind of smooth skate around the room thing going on, right? And now with my New Balance shoes, that are going to turn into my New Balance professorial shoes soon. It's amazing. So Dr. Keong was really instrumental in my connecting to that. And so we decided, and this advisory board has stuck with us on a vision. This goes back over a decade. We started visioning this because I had the nerve, Chancellor, at my inauguration to have as my featured speaker my basketball coach. Now, Jim Calhoun could tell my life story, but also New Balance, who's been in my life for over 25 years. Jim Davis has been an incredible friend, funded the inauguration. So it was important to have a sport connection there as well, but the reality was Jim and his vision are incredible partners. New Balance is an incredible partner for this great university because all the things we espouse as values, diversity and inclusion, leadership, exposing you students to incredible experiences that are going to bring out both the practitioner, the creative side of you, and the innovative side of you, the kind of confidence you're going to get by studying under scholars like this young man that's been in front of you, and you're flocking to him, and you don't even understand what it's going to mean until years from now when you start reflecting on how talented you've become, and you look at that thread of people who touched your lives, and you'll see Dr. Joseph Cooper in the center of that. And so the fact that this chair bears my name is an incredible, incredible honor. You know, Vice Chancellor Titus, one of the things that he hates me to tell the story was that he was supposed to be the guy that when I came to Boston at 17 years old to be a student athlete, they put him on me to make sure that I was going to class and all that kind of stuff. He was supposed to be that guy. And the irony is, years later, I came over here and I had to make sure he was going to class and all that kind of stuff and showing up. And so it's amazing how life transitions for you. And so that's why I'm so proud, Dr. Cooper, that you have this incredible group of scholars that you brought up from that old university that we stole you from. I told them, stop hating on me. They were hating on me in the garage. What rhymes with thief? Keith. So we stole them. We're sorry. We got them. Come up and visit sometimes, y'all. It's okay. All right? So Charlie and team, thank you so much. Elise, you got the vision. All of you as an advisory board, you hung in there with us. Now, I can't stop without thanking both all of the deans in the colleges, particularly the College of Management and the College of Education and Human Development. Thank you for that. But the search committee. You know, I came back off sabbatical, and I must admit, sabbatical's a pretty good thing. You know, I came back here, I had an attitude problem. You know, I was like, oh, everything in the world is so beautiful. All those things that I was so aggressive about, I sort of left them on sabbatical. And I came back, and I was just, okay, we're going to have a search committee. Oh, the honor is so great. The search committee took me into a corner, smacked me around, and told me, you're going to lead us. So I want to thank Pacey Foster, Lauren Hayden, Jemadari Kamara, Steve Striffler, Tara Parker, for making sure that I understood how important this hire was for this university, and that I stepped up, got into our network, and we began to do something in 2 to 3 months that typically takes a longer time. And so we're so grateful for that. Thank you to that committee. Give them a round of applause. But more importantly, to the chancellor and to the provost, I want to thank you both because you took the opportunity to understand why we were so excited about the young man I'm getting ready to introduce to you. And you said yes, 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 yes. But before I introduce Nia's dad and Monique's husband to you, you know, Dr. Cooper is not simply a tremendous scholar. He's an accomplished researcher who brings intellectual weight and boundless energy to this endowed chair. He is someone that will be able to build not only this program, but this university community into something that we've all dreamed and espoused over the years. But he's also someone that we're very fortunate to have at this point in his career, and that's what we saw in him. Get him now because you won't get him later. Because his star is moving at warp speed. Now, Michael Mallory, get up here. Come here, come here. Michael Mallory is a doctoral student at University of Connecticut. Tell me, if you were standing here, what would you say to introduce Dr. Cooper? Wow. Since you are standing here.
So what I would say is, UMass Boston, you all not only have hired and brought into this amazing university an intellectual juggernaut, a star on the rise, but someone who's humble and who's also an individual who's dedicated to the work. I know he's a tremendous loss for UConn, but you all are bringing a visionary in his prime, somebody that not only cares about, espouses the values of innovation and justice and social justice and holistic identities for all students, not just athletes, but all students. And I think this is somebody that you all are getting and that we're so proud and honored and focused. I can speak for days, Dr. Okay.
So you get it? So without further ado, Dr. Joseph Cooper, come on up here, man. So proud of you. Thank you, man. My family. Thank you. You know my family? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Motley. Thank you, everyone here in attendance today for this tremendous event. We are elated that the program is finally here. The students are in class. I have an office, and we are up and running. A lot of the thank yous have already been mentioned. I definitely want to thank Dr. Motley for your leadership, not only here at UMass Boston, but in the greater Boston community. I want to thank the advisory board for your tremendous hard work. I know this has been something in the works for over 20 years. I want to thank my colleagues in the College of Education and Human Development for your tremendous support since I've been here. And I want to thank Chancellor Newman. And definitely I want to thank New Balance for your tremendous support as well. My charge this morning is just to provide a little information about where we are in the sport industry. So we all know that sport has the ability to transform lives. Many of us in this room were either former athletes, coaches, maybe we're currently spectators, but we have been able to connect with people from diverse backgrounds by virtue of sport. Oftentimes, people talk about other aspects of society that are very divisive, right? But we know that sports brings people together in a very powerful and unique way. We want to continue to do that through our program. We also want to know, and I wouldn't be having my professor hat if I didn't refer to some statistics about some of the things that could be improved in sport. There are certain inequalities and inequities that are present in the broader society that are also present in sport. So let me start by mentioning it's been 47 years since the passing of the milestone Title IX legislation. According to the 2010 census, women constituted 50% of the U.S. population. However, across all three NCAA divisions, only 19.9% of athletic directors were women in 2017 and 2018. 41.2% of associate ADs are women. 11.7% of sport information directors are women. And then 10% of sports editors are women. So we continue to see, even though sport has provided tremendous opportunities for girls and women across the country to increase participation rates, in terms of leadership across the sport industry, we still see that there is gender inequities. It's been 65 years since the passage of Brown v. Board of Education, and over 50 years since the landmark Civil Rights Acts. However, in the United States currently, 13.4% of the citizens identify as Black or African American. 18.3% are Hispanic or Latinx or Latino. 1.3% are American Indian or Indigenous people. 5.9% are Asian, and then 76.5% identify as white. However, across all three divisions in the NCAA, 89% of athletic directors are white. 88.3% of the associate athletic directors are white. Only 14.4% of Division I head coaches are people of color. Of the Division I assistant coaches, only 28.6% are of color. 92.6% of the sports information directors are white. And then 22.3% of the copy editors are people of color. I highlight those statistics to say that even though sport has come a long way, we still need to be intentional about cultivating leaders who use sport to address inequities in our society. I only highlighted instances of sexism and racism. I could also talk about ableism, how many sport opportunities, adaptive sports for individuals with unique physical and intellectual abilities are significantly underfunded. We know that we're here in Boston and there's been tremendous work with the Special Olympics. We want to amplify that. We want to talk about the idea of bringing sports together across international boundaries. We know that in certain countries, oftentimes, if we look at the Olympics, it's not necessarily about harmony and bringing people together. It's oftentimes reinforcing economic superpowers in countries that are lacking in resources. So this program here at UMass Boston, the Sport Leadership and Administration Program, recognizes that there are inequalities in sport, in society, but we recognize the power of sport. In our classes, we're going to be cultivating equity-minded, character-driven, transformative leaders who are going to use sport as a platform to ignite social change in society. They're going to learn about They're going to work with Boston sport franchises, such as the Red Sox, such as the Bruins, the Celtics, the Cannons. They're going to work with New Balance. They're going to work with the Boston public school systems. They're going to work with UMass Boston Athletics and all of the intercollegiate athletic programs and youth programs in the area. Not just for-profit companies, but also non-for-profit sport for development programs. We want all of our students to understand about marketing, about analytics, about innovation, about social justice, about critical consciousness, and also about how to use sport as a way to connect people together. So I am honored today to be here with you. I hope that I've gained your trust, and if I haven't thus far, I plan on earning it moving forward with the students that we're going to be bringing into this program from diverse backgrounds. As many of you know, UMass Boston is one of the most diverse universities in the entire country. and definitely the most diverse university in New England. So we're going to hone and harness that talent from all walks of life, and we're going to be the beacon of light to the world to show this is how sport leadership operates. This is how we can use this platform to ignite positive change across all parts of society. So I want to thank you for your time. I look forward to working with each and every one of you in various capacities, whether it be cultivating internship opportunities, whether it be providing career development opportunities for our students. I am happy to work with each and every one of you. I now have the esteemed honor of introducing one of our inaugural students, Ms. Tarjanay Ankrum, if you would come on up. Tarjanay is a native of Boston, a graduate of Tech Boston Academy here in Boston. She's also a student in my Foundation of Sport Leadership class. She's also one of the student leaders who is going to be forming the Sport Leadership and Administration Student Association. So when we talk about cultivating leadership, we are doing it not only by talking it, but we are walking it with our actions as well. So Tarjanay, come on up.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good. So my name is Tarjanay Marshall. I am honored to speak with you guys today. I am currently a freshman in the Sports Administration program and a vice president of the inaugural class of the Sports Leadership Association. The Sports Leadership Administration Association program is designed with the future in mind. We want to accommodate the next leaders in the sports with all the necessary tools for success, whether that be in school or the real world. SLA gives students opportunities for networking with the best of the best in the sports industry. The Sports Leadership and Administration class is based on various leadership styles in relation to the sports industry and positions across different contexts and learning about the skills and traits associated with effective leaders in the sports industry. We are exposed to multiple outside resources of the class. We provide with the guest speakers, different organizations that students can connect to in internships, job resources that are in the class. Being in this class, it helped me find the opportunity of being the manager of the men's basketball team here at UMass Boston and considering other opportunities as well. Because of the interest in sports, I am very happy UMass Boston has a sports leadership course. Now that we do, this is the course on UMass that me and my fellow classmates have today. Sports leadership group up there. The Sports Leadership Administration Association are all happy to say that we are the first course with Dr. Cooper, who is an amazing teacher. Within the course, I have to say that Dr. Cooper has become all of our mentors throughout the process. As far as my career, I would love to continue my path in getting my degree in Sports Leadership Administration, finding a career that aligns with sports and business, but also connects with other organizations to help. I would love to get my master's degree in Sports Leadership Administration and Business and taking the skills I've learned in Sports Leadership Administration and applying the skills to my everyday life. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarjanay. Great job. And great job by everyone here. One thing you'll find, and you just talk about mentorship, right? One thing you'll find in the sports community, you first years who are getting involved in this, freshmen doing this for the first time, I think more than any other industry, more than any other aspect of life, the sports industry is all about mentoring, about passing on, about paying it forward. I think everyone in this room who's in the business had someone lend them a helping hand, had someone be a mentor for them at the beginning of it all. I was the first of my family to graduate from college out of a small town in Maine, and it took people who believed in me a long, long time ago to get me started in this. And now at Nesson and in this room, you find people who are someday probably going to take your job. But we're all more than happy to help you learn the skills you will need to. And Tarjanay, you're not going to take my job, are you? You're going to do something better than be on TV on Nesson, all right? You'll run something. And over the 24 years I've been at Nesson, one thing I found about the close-knit community of Boston and the close-knit community of sports in Boston is that there are great partners at every step of the way. And it seems every time I do some sort of event, one of the biggest sponsors on hand is New Balance. They are there for everyone in this city, from grassroots level to big events to big ideas and big visions like this. So please welcome from our incredible partner, representing the generous sponsor, New Balance, Tom Carlio, who's Vice President of Running and Soccer at New Balance and part of our founding advisory board member. Without New Balance, this program would not happen. So please welcome Tom to the podium.
Okay, how we doing? All right, this is fantastic. You know, it's sometimes cliche to say you're humbled when you're giving a little talk like this, but I am truly humbled to follow the people who have talked already here today. This is an amazing and kind of inspiring day for us. So on behalf of 8,000 New Balance employees around the world and a couple of thousand right here in Massachusetts, we are privileged to be part of this. And again, I'm humbled to be the guy that is able to welcome Dr. Cooper and his growing family to the state of Massachusetts. We all look forward to you guys putting Red Sox stickers on your cars and getting fully assimilated to the area. So this has been something that the first day that Mark Duggan really got me involved with this, it resonated with me. I have two sisters that are graduates from UMass Boston years and years ago. They're much, much older than I am. And this school's always meant a lot to me. In fact, I used to be dragged here by my oldest sister, and there was a library somewhere on campus that is probably illegal today, but she would drop me off in the library and then go to class, and I did something during that time. So anyway, in this last few weeks, we've got to know Dr. Cooper. We've been able to meet several times and had the privilege of giving him a tour of the UMass campus, and the passion, the energy, the understanding of what we need to do in this industry is so clear. The innovative thinking and just seeing his students from UConn being here today is really, really awesome to see. That energy and that modern thinking, we're going to need it in this space. This world, the sports business world, is mature now. It's not like it was when you kind of lucked yourself into a job, when you got cut by a team and you found a job through a friend of a friend. It's not that easy anymore. The world is changing faster today than it ever has, and in a year, that's only going to accelerate. The role of digital, the role of social media in general, the importance of values to brands and values to what you associate your brand with have never been higher. And the understanding of how to carry yourself in the business community today is intensely important. So we're privileged, again, to be part of this group and the association with Dr. Cooper. You know, the future leaders that will come out of this program, as I said, I think it's going to be different than it was when people like myself got into the industry. It's going to be a lot different. But what's not going to change is the importance of those values that I talked about, that understanding of the business from the base level all the way up. No matter what business you want to be in this space, understanding how to engage with people and how to be part of a community and how to give back to a community is going to continue to be super important. The internship programs that we plan on putting in place this spring, we really want to work hard to make sure that they're meaningful, that they're innovative, and that they're different. And as we work out the fine-tuning with the university that we're doing now, it's so important to us that it's not the typical come in for a couple of weeks and put it on your resume. Those days are gone. We want to embed people into problem solving within our industry, within our company. And maybe most importantly, as proud as New Balance is to be part of this association, we want this to be the entire Boston sports community embracing this. This is not a time to be competitive with our other footwear brands, clearly embraced by the athletic teams in the area, as Dr. Cooper said, but many other areas, whether it's Special Olympics or other organizations in the area. If we can get everybody to participate in this and let these young students have a piece of each part of what we do in this industry, it's going to be that much more meaningful to us ultimately at the end, and it's going to be that much more meaningful to the communities that you guys end up working within. Those other organizations, as I said, they're countless, and I'll do what I can on our part to make sure that we can help through the advisory board building those relationships. It's an extensive advisory board, so I can't imagine you'll have any problems with that. So again, I just want to thank everybody that I've been able to be exposed to. Dr. Noon, it was a pleasure to meet you at the luncheon, and obviously Keith and Charlie, your relationship with Jim is so meaningful. Nothing happens at New Balance without Jim trusting a handshake and trusting that the integrity of the people that handshake is with. So really applaud you guys for it. And again, Dr. Cooper, welcome to Massachusetts, and I hope your family loves it here as much as we all do. So thank you guys very much, and look forward to moving forward.
Thank you, Tom. Well done. Dr. Cooper, do you have a Red Sox cap yet? Not yet. All right, we're going to work on that. When you talk about vision, taking something to the ground level, it occurs to me, you think about the Red Sox and where this management and ownership group took that franchise from where it was in 2002. There was a thing, you kids today have no idea about this thing called the curse of the Bambino. And that's a good thing, because now we like to rev up those duck boats every few months. It's been a long time, hasn't it? We're pushing like almost a year since we've had one. And you know, the vision of what Fenway Park has become, not just America's most beloved ballpark, but a place that now hosts so many great events. We've seen hockey and football and hurling. We have hurling last year, and high school football, and it's just become a place that the community can celebrate sports. And to speak a little about what Fenway Sports Management is doing in this program, I want to welcome another good friend of mine up here. We've worked together for a long time on Red Sox and charity events throughout the community. Another founding advisory board member. Don't worry, we won't have the entire advisory board speak today because you'll miss your next class tomorrow if we do that. Please welcome Mark Lev, president of Fenway Sports Management.
Thanks, TC. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of all my colleagues back at Fenway and those that are here as well, thank you for having us here today. Chancellor Newman, Charlie, Dr. Motley, Dr. Cooper, congratulations. This is, I really salute you for what you've created, and thank you for doing this and giving us the opportunity to bring our employees to your class and to speak, to recruit your employees to be in our internship program and in our associate program, and ultimately work over at Fenway with the Red Sox, with FSM. I also want to just take a minute, to acknowledge Elise Mcgee. Is there anybody in Boston that does more for kids than Elise? I mean, when Elise came knocking and asking myself and Kelly Kaufman, my colleague, to serve on the board, it was an instant yes, because she knows that we care deeply about increasing diversity and inclusion at FSM and at the Red Sox, and we're really excited about the partnership that we're going to forge with this program. I do think it's a great, nothing like this has existed in the past, and it's really going to galvanize, I believe, all of the sports teams in Boston to rally behind it and support it. And then lastly, I just want to acknowledge my friends from New Balance who, I got into this business 30 some odd years ago, and I was an intern, and I actually, one of the first things that I did is I drove Red Auerbach around when he was in Boston, and I remember fondly driving to New Balance's old office building on North Beacon Street, going with Red to see Jim Davis, and Jim emptying his closet out and giving Red a bunch of free stuff. And I have free New Balance on today too, I might add. But New Balance has been an incredible partner to the Red Sox and Fenway Sports Group. Obviously, they have great products, but what is most impressive about their organization is the commitment that they have to the community. They're a big supporter of the Run to Home Base, which is an event that we hold every year at Fenway that supports the home base program at Mass General Hospital. And this is just another example of the amazing commitment that they make to the community that they operate in. So I salute you guys as well. But thank you for having us, and we look forward to having the students in our offices real soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Students, when you succeed and get into the sports industry, you'll find out you get asked to do a lot of things, like get up on a Tuesday, put your coffee down, drive the Mass Pike into the expressway, and be here at 10 a.m. And you'll find that your decision-making process will often be based on who's asking. And there are some people you will say yes to before you even know what it is they ask. And one of those people is Elise Mcgee. Elise has done so much for so many great causes in this community. I couldn't even begin to list them because we would be here all day. She is CEO of the foundation to be named later, which of course is run by Theo and Paul Epstein, that has done so much great grassroots work in this community. She's the founding advisory board member, one of the founders of this program, and the reason so many of us are here today. Elise, take it away.
Oh, I was thinking I might need that riser, but thank you very much. I'll be really quick. I'm really up here as a proud alumna of UMass Boston. I got my master's here in education a long time ago, a lot of years ago. And I just wanted to quickly thank you all for being here. So many of my friends and my personal mentors are out there in the room, and I really wanted to say thank you and let you know I deeply appreciate your time. And every time I call, I'm glad you don't hang up the phone on me, so thank you. It was probably more than a decade ago, I worked at Northeastern University for Dr. Richard Laptick, who's known as the social conscience of sport, and he's like a second dad to me now. And when I was at Northeastern, Keith was there as the dean, and he knew what we were doing, and we'd often go out for tea. He calls it tea with his people. He probably still does it here at UMass. And then when he came to UMass, he called me in his office and said, I want to start a sports leadership program. Go talk to Charlie. He gave me his vision. He sent me to Charlie. I met Charlie, who is a dear mentor. And just a couple words about Charlie, too, is he's beloved. Have you ever met a person who can have the capacity to love and mentor so many people as Charlie? And I just want to say thank you, Charlie. If you haven't been around Charlie yet, be around Charlie. It will make your day. It will make your life a much better life. So 10 years later, here we are. And I'm here to just talk to you about a couple things that you can do to help us, which ultimately, hopefully, helps you and your goals, because we deeply believe in partnerships, and that's what we're all about. If you think about it, I work for Theo and Paul, and I'm very lucky. And both of them are amazing mentors to other people. Theo credits where he is to two things: having an amazing mentor and also being an intern. He started as an intern, and now he's the president of the Chicago Cubs and was also the general manager of the Boston Red Sox. And both of those places are very special places in our life, but also special examples for our students to see what can happen when you start as an intern and as a leader. We want you, wherever you are, to think about having our students partner with you for meaningful interns. We would also like you to consider funding some of the scholarships that we have so that each of our students can graduate debt-free. Keith and Charlie had a vision to have our students graduate without debt. Because we want our students to be innovative and on the cutting edge, we need you, we need your organizations, we need your help to come speak to our students, to host them at your office and show them the ropes, and also possibly even teach classes for them. Help our students network. You have amazing networks, and we need our students to be part of those networks, because everyone knows that when you know someone, the call gets answered, the door gets open, and that's what we want for our students as well. Site visits. We hope our students can visit top-notch organizations, not just in our city, but in our country and around the world. So open doors for us and help us with that. And also, please come to us and let us know what we can do to help you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Elise. One thing you will find as you go forth in this industry and you build a career in sports is you will need to have passion for what you do. That's, I think, one thing that unifies everyone in every part of this, whether you're on field management, front office, media, whatever. You've got to love what you're doing, because you will be working nights and you will be working weekends and you will not have a whole lot of time at home. But if you love what you do, that's fine. And it's the passion that will make it through that. Our next speaker has as much passion as anyone I know in this industry. Chris Collins has been around a long time. Like me, he came in when it wasn't duck boats all the time, all right? He's seen the quest, and he has seen the championships along the way, and the guy has never lost 1 ounce of his passion, and you'll see it right now. Please welcome Chris Collins, part of the advisory board.
TC, thank you so much. You know, I love that you introduced me with passion, because that arguably is my most favorite word. And when I speak to groups, passion usually starts it, usually ends it. It's kind of interesting how I kind of ended up in this position. It wasn't Elise asking me. It was, you know, as I was trying to transition out of television full time and trying to do some other things, when you're in this community, especially when you're someone of color in this community, you call the godfather in this community. So I call Dr. Keith Motley, who, as you can see, he looks like a father to me. Age related, yeah. I wouldn't say that. Eyes going, cataracts, we'll get that fixed. So, Dr. Motley talked about this sports leadership program, and that's something that kind of piqued an interest. And I'll tell you this, 20 plus years on television, I've never taken a communication course or a journalism or a broadcast course, not one. What I had taken, where my degree comes from, to Temple University, is a sports business management degree, so that piqued an interest. He directed me to Charlie Titus, who obviously I knew. I met Charlie. Charlie doesn't even know where I met him. You don't even know. But think about this. It was here on this campus. It was a great mentor of mine, arguably the greatest football writer of all time, Will McDonough, who I was very close with. He said, that man right there is a good man. So Charlie, unlike Dr. Motley, who's been a father, Charlie obviously has been like a grandfather. Aha, you like that one a little better, don't you? So I think what we need to recognize here is, so I came here and I worked with this program really full time for about a year and was instrumental in raising some money because it doesn't work without capital. Obviously, New Balance stepped to the plate. As a matter of fact, I had lunch with Jim on Wednesday, and Jim has high aspirations as a guy who has built what he has built certainly should have. So you got your work cut out for you, but you can handle it. But the first person who wrote a check to this program was a guy who I knew, Carmen Scarpa, Harvard basketball player, made all his money with Tudor basically investment when Jimmy Pilata, who part owner of the Celtics, was making all his money. And it really wasn't the vision of Scarpa, who gave a lot of money and continues to give a lot of money, but really in the Merrimack Valley where he's from, up in Andover, and really in the Harvard circles. But he really was the first one who wrote the first check and was able to really understand from his father being a city kid, and his father working in the Boston public schools, and him being a public school kid, even though he was from Andover, he was really the first one who got and wrote the first significant check. Now, what's interesting, when I was kind of segueing out of television full time, Scarpa writes a check. I'm leaning on somebody constantly about, how do you ask? How do you go about getting the money, that this program needs to run? So I have a good friend who I would see in the mornings when I drop off my oldest kid, Savannah, in Brookline, and he'd drop off his boy, Nico. And we've developed a friendship there. And I would always call him and lean on him and email him, say, how do you do this? What am I looking to do? And he'd rewrite some of the things for me. That guy was, to me, in my estimation, I don't want to insult anyone, but I thought at that time that the best development office in the city, and there's a lot of good ones, was at Boston University. I thought their one and their two guys were just simply phenomenal. The campaigns that they were constantly running and constantly hitting and exceeding those numbers was just spectacular. So those checks that started coming in from the Carmen Scarpas of the world, the Eaton Vances, the Herb Chambers, those were all being, certainly helped or backed, or I was getting a lot of influence, a lot of intellect, knowledge from the current person who runs development office here at UMass Boston. So Adam Wise was at BU as the number 2. Now he's at UMass Boston as the number 1. You don't know how lucky you are because all programs need a constant amount of funding. You have no idea the gem you have in Adam Wise, who supports this program and is here not just as a friend, but just as a perfect fit with Davis, with Wise, with Motley, with Charlie Titus, with the new chancellor, with Doctor in front of me. The expectations are high, and they were set for before you got here. But there's no reason, and there's no belief that we will not exceed every single expectation. So what does that mean? That means this table right here, it comes alive. You can see the passion, you can see the hunger on your faces. And though that hunger, that passion turns into smiles because of the success and because of the leadership, because of the room. Look at the room, it's packed. It's not packed because of me, it's packed because of you. because of a belief, a vision that is coming to fruition on this day. So remember this day. This will always be an impactful place, the campus, the university, which is now just, again, I was here a year. It didn't look like this. It didn't. It looked like that table with a lot of people of color, which if you go around the city, you might not see. But this campus, to me, was eye-opening because I'd never been over here. 2 years later, 3 years later, 5 years later. Brother, I know what you did. The buildings are spectacular. The campus is amazing. A university that was once considered an afterthought, a backup plan, now is the plan. I mean, I went to Urban University at Temple. Loved that university for everything it's about. UMass Boston and being from Peabody makes me feel like I'm at Temple University in this city. And I couldn't be more proud. Thank you.
Great job, Chris. Thank you. Passion. Like I said, while we're doing our connections, I'll say my connection to Charlie Titus. We both went to wonderful St. Michael's College in Winooski, Vermont. You think it's cold here? You think it's cold here in the winter? That's it for St. Mike's? Yeah, come on now. Charlie was a 3-year standout on the basketball team, a New England Basketball Hall of Fame legend. I played 1 year on the soccer team, never got in a game, and here I am talking about baseball. It all leads somewhere, I guess is my point in there, okay? Want to welcome our final speaker. One of the original guys who had a vision for all of this, co-founder of the program, chair of the founding advisory board, and a former CEO of Nike. Bauer knows a few things or two about the sports industry. Please welcome Mark Duggan up to the stage.
Okay, so I'm between lunch. The thank yous have all been said, but I do want to express on behalf of the advisory board, thanks to them and thanks to everybody who has helped us with this program, getting it going. About 4 years ago, Charlie and Keith grabbed me and said, hey, we'd like to do this. And having spent 30 plus years in corporate world, it was very easy to say yes to Charlie and Keith because clearly we need this program. We need this program. And after having that meeting 4 years ago, I sort of went out and I Googled, and how many of these sport leadership programs, a lot of sport management programs, but how many sport leadership programs are they truly? And there are only 3 in the world. And so that was not hard to convince me, but it certainly put a rubber stamp on, for me, we need this program. The other reason why we need this program is to reflect the marketplace and prepare people, prepare students to go out and take all those great jobs, the future jobs that are coming down the road. As we built this advisory board, and as Mark said, it's a very large advisory board because Elise has a lot of friends, and it is also because people recognize the thing that I recognized originally. We need this program in the sports industry. We need it from a corporate standpoint, we need it from a marketplace standpoint. The sports community needs this program. And as part of this advisory board, we want to bring the resources to Dr. Cooper. He's the right person at the right time to lead this program. This will be a global program. We have a global advisory board, and I just want to say on behalf of that advisory board, thank you. This is a great day, a lot of energy here. And thank you to Keith and Charlie and Elise, as well as all the people that got us going in this program. So thank you, and on to lunch.
Thank you, Mark. Just on time and timing perfect as always. Want to thank you all for coming, but especially the students. Thank you, because you are why we are all here. As Chris said, we're not here to see each other. We can do that other places. We're here to see you. And as I said at the very beginning of all this, in so many ways, the culmination of the vision of getting this going, but now the work begins. You guys will be doing the work. So good luck in your studies, and good luck with all of you, Dr. Cooper, as you embark on this amazing adventure. Thank you. I think Charlie's going to say a word. I'll take the box away.
No, I really hadn't planned to say a word, but there are some people that I think should be acknowledged who really worked very, very hard and were critical to the development of the program. Phil DeSalvio, the Dean of... Phil was the dean who really helped us put together the academic program and actually led the effort to put together the academic program. We have Keith Harrison here. Keith Harrison is from the University of Central Florida. In this country, when you want to write curricula for sports management or sports leadership, who do you call? Not the Ghostbusters, you call Keith Harrison. So we called Keith, and he came to us and did a great job for us, and he worked with Phil and Alan Greeley and Sandy. Yeah, they did a great job for us. Is Alan here today, Alan and Sandy? Okay. Okay, so that was a team, that was the academic team on campus that worked with Dr. Harrison to put it together. I want to introduce, for those who don't know, Edwin Moses, who has been a terrific supporter. Edwin has now, a lot of you don't know this. Edwin has a degree from UMass Boston, a doctorate degree from UMass Boston. But he also has worldwide responsibilities with the World Doping Association, with the Laureus Foundation. He travels, he's all over the place. We talked a few weeks ago, he said, man, I'm gonna do my best to be there today. Whatever I can do to be there, I'll be there. And I got a text at 6:30 this morning, he said, I'm on my way. So thanks, Edwin, I appreciate your support and being here. And Dr. Harrison, again, stand up for 1 minute. This is my man, Keith. What a job he did. Keith and I worked together years ago on a program he actually created called Scholar Balla. It was the first project that we worked together on. It was highly successful. And you know, Keith is advertising. He got his Scholar Balla jacket on today and he came in here. Hey, it's Bob Bradley. Yeah, there it is. And there's one more. Would the advisory board members just stand up one more time? I wish I could introduce everybody, but please stand up one more time. So when we were doing the Years Project, we ran into, fortunately, a young man who I had mentored here in Boston. Alonzo Fugum, who actually became the executive director of USAID. And so, you know, he was the guy who oversaw the people who gave out the money for programs internationally. And Alonzo called me one day and he said, there's a person you got to meet. And her name is, I'm going to mess up your last name, but I'm going to try. Okay, everybody does. Maury Tetelapur. Terripur. Maury is a sports intellect, to say the least. She teaches sports management at the Wharton School of Business. She is a consultant for a number of Fortune 500 companies around the globe on how they do their sports marketing and invest their money for sports marketing, amongst a bunch of other things. So Maury, when I met Maury, I said, Maury, there's something I'm going to ask you to do. This is our first meeting in a cafe in Washington, D.C. I said, we're starting a sports leadership program at UMass Boston. I need you on that board. And she just looked up and said, sure, and kept doing what she was doing. And so Maury has been a great supporter. She's brought great knowledge to the board. And she makes meetings and travels for us. And I'm so happy she's here. So I wanted you to see Maury as an example of one of our international kind of board members and someone who's going to support us and help us open doors, open a lot of doors. All right? Thanks, Maury. Appreciate you.
I need to say something.
Oh, okay.
Can I say something? So I had no idea he was going to call me up here, so now that I'm here, because I teach, this is what I do. But this is really a couple of things. I actually grew up in Brookline, Massachusetts. Not a lot of people who know me know that. First generation Iranian American. We came to Boston when we emigrated. And this is during the hostage crisis period. So lots of hate, lots of division, not too different from where we are today. And it was sports that really changed everything for me. Our apartment oversaw Fenway Park, so I was mesmerized as a little girl when these lights went on. But it was also during the heyday of the Celtics, so Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Tiny Archibald. And I fell in love with sports because it was the only place I would go where it brought everybody together. Didn't matter what color you were, what age you were, what ethnicity you had. Everybody for those few hours celebrated the one thing they had in common, which was sport. That's how it all started for me. I wanted to just thank Charlie for this opportunity because while I did this at the Wharton School, we launched the Sports Business Initiative in 2004. I was very proud to do that. It was actually the first time I had really gotten into the sports industry, and I also started teaching at the same time for the students. I never even dreamt I would be where I am today in sports. It was really because of somebody who mentored me and opened the doors for me and saw something in me that I had never seen in myself. But to have the types of people that I've seen today here, and we've only met today, I just want to let you know how lucky you are and how important it is that you take advantage of this very opportunity in front of you today. They don't come around often. And our world needs the hope and the inspiration and the leadership that you all will experience in the city. Thanks to Elise for becoming my best friend in like a day that I spent with her. But thanks to Charlie, because I've rarely met somebody as kind as you. And it was really on that sort of first impression. So this, again, for the students, take advantage of all of this today. This is magical. I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm totally committed. I teach negotiations, so please call me. I will come in and teach whenever, wherever. But I'm grateful and also honored, and congratulations. This is really pretty amazing. So thank you. Thanks, Charlie.
Let's eat and mingle.